What started with some freelance projects turned out to be one of the leading software and hardware providers in various industries. Join me as I sit down with Wissam Youssef, co-founder and CEO of CME Offshore, as we discuss their success stories, collaboration with Fortune 500 companies, their focus on AI, and most importantly, job opportunities. Wissam, welcome to Titans in Tech. I'm really happy to have you here with me tonight. You're the CEO of CME, one of the most known software companies in the region. So really happy to have you and hopefully to have a great episode today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Wissam, you graduated as a telecom engineer from UZIP, which I believe is the engineering school of ESG. And then you got a certification in strategic management from MIT. Can you tell me more about this certification?
It was actually a collaboration between IMD and MIT in Switzerland. And
Okay.
It was a group of sessions, I would say, collectively focusing on how to drive strategic innovation in different scale of enterprises, whether it's a small, medium, or large enterprise. And we were a group of almost 50 or 60 from different industries, different groups. And we had a couple of interactions between different, subgroups, as well as with the instructors and the professors that are who are actually part of MIT or IMD. And it was all about marketing, technology, business model innovation. So it's covering all aspects of driving this challenge of or this kind of innovation within all kind of enterprises.
Why did you choose to do this certification? You've already started, I believe, CME at the time, or not yet?
No, actually, I did the certification back in 2015, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a bit recent.
That's right, yeah.
Why did you decide to do this? You lacked a certain skill, or you needed some maybe knowledge in strategic management?
The problem that I always feel that I lack skills.
Okay.
So I'm continuously looking to learn and evolve, whether through
Okay.
certifications or through reading books and listening to others. Like we were discussing a few minutes ago about your interest in having this podcast to learn from people. I have also the same drive. I like to listen to successful and even people who failed actually in their ventures, entrepreneurship, not only successful, because there is a story behind everything. So I also wanted to add some sort of, I don't want to say academic, but more of a global approach. That's why I picked the program in IMD and MIT, because it englobes different styles and different kind of people profiles that helped me to shape the future of CME for the next 4 or 5 years back in 2015.
Okay. And CME started actually, in some of your interviews said that CME started as some freelance projects with your co-founder from your own home. And then with time, the company started to grow. Was it organic growth or did you ever got an investment?
CME, since day one, so we established CME officially in 2005, but unofficially as a freelance team, we started in 2003, August 2003.
Okay.
That was the first time when we started to get a real project to be delivered within, there was no name actually, within this group of people, my partners in CME. There was no investment, nothing. We grew CME organically and from the revenue that we generated. We also have 0 loans in CME, and this is a strategy since day one. So CME grew organically, without loans, without investment, until this day. Okay. And we are very proud of this achievement.
You should.
Yeah. Maybe it's not the ultimate practice or the best practice usually in technology firms, but at least from our side as a technology services company, we enjoyed it, and we are very proud of establishing a company like CME that grew in more than 8 markets, as direct markets, employment markets, or as business markets, without any need to invest or for loans. Maybe in the future things will change, but until this day, that's how we grew CME.
Yeah, and you don't see the need yet to have any investor on board?
Right now, no, we don't see the need. There are a lot of interest in CME, I would say. That's right.
Yeah.
But I don't say that. I don't think that there is right or wrong on this side. It depends on the purpose. For now, the way
the
we
synergy.
exactly, yeah, of course. But I mean, financially, the main drive behind getting an investor or a partnership,
Yeah.
it's all about boosting our revenue growth,
Yeah.
our brand equity, and all of this. So today, yes, we think differently than what we used to think 20 years ago, of course.
Yeah.
And sometimes, yes, funds will be required to expand massively or heavily in specific markets. So we're open, but I mean, we're not building a strategy based on that.
Yeah, of course. CME has now delivered hundreds of projects worldwide, has 8 locations worldwide, and more than 500 engineers working on projects. He also collaborated with well-known companies and even Fortune 500 companies. Well, all of these facts surely points that you had some very good success, and most importantly that you have credibility within your clients. And as we just said, starting from your own home as some freelance projects, how hard was it to build this credibility among clients?
It's a tough question because I don't have a formula. It's not that.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So all what we did is that we focused on delivering what we committed to deliver for every single project that we got, every single engagement that we had. And we gave it all what we have. We have at CME something it's called the do what it takes attitude. So we do everything to make it happen for our customers, whether building a new project or supporting the customer on existing projects that are struggling. It doesn't mean that we never failed. We failed, but at the end of the day, even when we failed, we ended up creating another success story for our customers.
Yeah.
So. There is no secret formula around this except our dedication to the ultimate success of our customers. And this is the nature of the service industry. And if you ask me today about the type of customers that we have and the diversity that we have among our customers, we're covering more than 10 different industries.
That's true. I saw that.
Yeah, and actually every single day, our systems, the one that we develop for our customers, they serve 80 million users every single day.
Wow.
Whether in the food industry, making sandwiches and everything related to food, or in the retail industry, or in the healthcare, or in the telecom industry, all of that is actually contributing to the success of CME and the responsibility that we have.
Yeah.
So even that we're dedicated to deliver the job, but at the end of the day, there is also a support element to make sure that the customer is delivering to the end user.
Yeah.
Because CME is a B2B business. We serve businesses and not the end consumer directly. But through our customers, our business customers, we always serve the end users.
Yeah. What you said is absolutely true. There isn't one formula that builds credibility for a certain company, and I think all CEOs or managers knows that. But is there a certain project or a certain collaboration that clicks and gives you this push in credibility and exposure within maybe other clients?
I wouldn't say there is a single project, but there is always a story with every customer.
Yeah.
Okay, so whether we help the customer to go live in a short period of time to achieve a specific business goal, or we help them modernize their systems because they were struggling in the legacy infrastructure or ecosystem, or we help them mitigate a risk that they have on the technology side, there is always a story. So once it starts with a successful story and we build on top of it, that's it.
Yeah.
This is part of the dedication that I mentioned. And then the support element comes into the game.
Okay. As you just said, CME is a service provider, which means you build custom software. And please correct me if I say anything wrong.
Sure.
CME is a service provider. You build custom software for clients that comes to you with a certain need or problem. You don't have a specific software or product that you license or sell. Now, based on my various discussions with CEOs and investors, I we already discussed, I have a startup, and I had a lot of discussions with investors. They always tell me to avoid the service provider business model because it is the riskiest and the hardest business model in the tech industry. Now, do you agree with that?
Do I agree if it's the riskiest?
And hardest?
It's not the riskiest, it is the hardest.
Okay.
And it has the lowest margin, financially speaking.
Okay.
Okay. The reason why I'm saying this, because risk-wise, developing a product, a company based on a product, is definitely higher risk than delivering a service.
But why? How I see it is that when you're building a certain product, you can project based on facts, because you know how much it will cost you to do this specific product. You can study your market, you can study your margins, you can do a lot of things that will project your costs, your profit margins, and a lot of other measures. But in a service provider, you don't really know what project will come and how much will you charge a certain client. So you don't have a clear forecast. Isn't it true?
Yeah, let me correct this. So
okay,
the service provider model is also close to the consulting model. Okay?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of similarities between the consulting model and the services model. At the end of the day, you're solving a problem, whether you're using an existing solution or a product.
Okay.
Right? So whether you are a services company, consulting company, or a product company, at the end of the day, you have to solve a problem. This is a challenge. Yeah. So if you are actually a service company, consulting company, you don't have a one size that fits everyone. You're coming into a problem and you're proposing a solution that is tailor-made for this kind of a company.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And the product, it's a bit different. If you're developing a product, you're developing a vision, you're developing a roadmap for this product. Sometimes you end up starting with a service approach, and I will share with you a story here.
Okay.
And then you converge into a product. This is different, and it is a lower risk than productizing or creating a company that's based on product.
Because you had some experience.
Exactly. So the product, things might be nicer on the Excel sheet.
Yeah.
Right? But harder and riskier in the real life.
Yeah.
On the services side, Excel sheets will not look really nice. Those multipliers and all of these things are decent, are humble, let's say, compared to products.
Yeah.
But it is actually more real than having a product. Now, in multiple occasions at CME, we got engaged into multiple projects as a services company where we learned more about the problems in a specific industry, like the food industry.
Okay.
And then we ended up developing a product for this industry.
Uh-huh.
And based on our experience, based on the struggle that we had. And this is exactly what happened with us when we developed an inventory management solution for Subway restaurants in the US.
Okay.
So we initially developed I would call it a small application.
How did you get to Subway first?
Okay, so it's a long story, but I will make it really short. Yeah. So we initially tried to get into the ordering platforms, mobile ordering. That was back in 2010, I think, or 11. But while working on the ordering side, we discovered that there is another bigger problem, which is the supply chain, the inventory management specifically, and the accuracy of inventory management. So we came up with a solution for inventory management that we tested with a couple of stores in California.
Okay.
It was a major success, and it helped these restaurants to actually predict and be able to deal with the supply chain more efficiently.
Okay.
And within 2 or 3 years, we were able to roll out this solution across all Subway worldwide.
Okay.
And we ended up creating another company under CME, where we put all the intellectual property for this product, and we exited this company in 2021. We sold it to Avery Dennison, one of the major companies in the United States. And they acquired this solution to
completely
empower
sold it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And today we're serving Avery Dennison as a supplier, as a service provider.
Okay.
So you can see the transition, right? We got into the game as a service provider. We saw another opportunity. We productized. We built a success story on top of it, and then we exited.
Nice. That's very nice. And now, how hard is it for you now as a service provider, somehow service provider, to drive new business and new project at a time where you also said that you don't have a marketing nor a sales team? Is it right?
We do have a marketing team, of course.
Okay. Is it recent?
Yeah.
Okay.
We established our marketing team in 2021.
Okay.
Before that, we had zero marketing. We actually had a couple of agencies just for branding purposes and these things,
Yeah.
but not for, for typical marketing purposes. And today we have a very small business development team. Most of our customers are referrals. And I go back to your first question. It's all about credibility.
Yeah.
So when you build your credibility, you start getting referrals from existing customers and to get new customers as well, or even to upscale your existing customers.
Okay. But as a CEO, what are the ways to drive new project? Is there any platforms or places that there's companies putting their projects or needing someone to implement their projects and then you bid on this project? Or is it just referrals from other clients that knows other businesses that need a certain solution?
Yeah. As a strategy, CME has been focusing and will be also focusing for the next few years on what we call the iconic brands as a target for CME, as a target customer.
What is the iconic brands?
Iconic brands are brands with strong brand equity in specific markets, whether in the United States, in Europe, or GCC, or other markets.
Okay.
With very solid revenue growth.
Okay.
And a huge potential through digitization. So this is the main target for CME, and that's how we're approaching them. That's how we're approaching our main audience, let's say. The iconic brands for CME are a choice for us to make sure that we are delivering what's going to be the next technology generation in the future. Okay. I'm not saying that startups will not do this.
Yeah.
But today, the companies that they have the power and the capabilities to scale technology projects faster are the iconic brands. Okay. That's why we're focusing on it. Now, as a strategy, it's a referral-based strategy. Okay. We don't participate in platforms or these things. Yeah. I know this might be efficient in other cases, but for CME, because we have an ambitious target, and we're targeting an exponential growth on all fronts, we're focusing heavily on the referral aspect, and our credibility is helping us to achieve this.
In one of your interviews, you said that your competitive advantage is that you offer complete solutions. What do you exactly mean by complete solutions? Yeah.
Now, I always change, so I don't think that there is an ultimate competitive advantage. It's always temporary. Okay. So maybe that's a bit old.
I have a follow-up question for that. Okay.
So, in CME, we're not just a software company. Yeah. We deliver software and hardware as well.
Okay.
And by hardware, I mean the Internet of Things.
IoT.
Right. And with IoT, there is a completely different game.
Can you define for everyone that's watching and don't know what is IoT? Can you in 10 seconds define, like in a high-level way, what is IoT?
IoT is equivalent to smart connected things.
Okay.
This is IoT. A smartwatch is an IoT.
Okay.
A coffee machine that's connected to the internet is IoT.
Okay. And it stands for TV, Internet of Things.
Internet of Things, exactly.
Okay. What is the concept behind IoT?
The initial concept behind IoT is to make sure that the gadgets or the things that we deal with on a daily basis are connected to the internet. This is the initial concept. Okay. But if you think about it a bit further than this, it's about making these things smart.
Okay.
So they are able to make decisions. They are able to act on your behalf as a user or as a consumer.
Aren't they already smart?
It depends. Like today, if you take autonomous car drivers.
Yeah.
The autonomous car drivers. They are, of course, smart. But
Okay.
do we have them available everywhere at scale? Not yet.
Not really.
Yes. This is one example. Other examples. Is your TV today, do you think that your TV is smart enough?
I don't know.
It's connected, but is it smart?
In a way.
Yeah, but is it going to, to act smartly? And whenever you join, you arrive to your home, it will play your favorite channel depending on the timing. If you're watching the news at 8:30 or at 8 p.m. or
Not
something
really,
else,
yeah.
that means it's not yet smart. And these are the basic stuff what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm
But
not.
there's other devices that connects to the TV that does that. Isn't it right?
Yes, this is the ecosystem.
Okay.
But ultimately, the ultimate goal is to make every unit, every gadget in your home smart.
Okay.
And it's capable to make its own decisions, whether it's your TV or anything else.
Okay. Now in these past 3 years, I have seen a lot of software companies, maybe similar to CME, closing their doors because of the huge competition. Because like I would say the barriers of entry to the software industry are lower and lower with the new technologies, the new languages, frameworks with AI, most importantly. So the barriers to entry to start a actual software company are lower and lower. Competition is higher. There's a lot of companies charging lower prices. Now, some of these companies I'm talking about started to develop expertise in non-traditional technologies. Or not yet matured technologies like VR development, AR development, blockchain development, and there's a bunch of more of these technologies. Are you afraid of this huge competition? And did your team ever explore some of these technologies?
Okay, so are we afraid of competition? Of course, we're always, I would say, cautious about competition. And anyone who is not cautious about competition, complacency will actually terminate his presence for sure.
Yeah.
So you have to be aware of the competition, but I also know that it's not about the price competition. I come from the outsourcing business,
Okay.
so it's all about being efficient.
Yeah.
And also price competitive. But at the end of the day, if there is something that I learned, it's that it's not about the price. The price competition will never end, and it will not actually be a competitive advantage to any company. So you cannot use this as a competitive advantage.
But at a certain level, it isn't about the price, isn't it, right? Because when you have a certain credibility, you're now dealing with bigger companies, and thus they're not really worried about the price, isn't it? Right?
No, everyone is worried about the price.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But at the end, it depends on what you're committing and what you're delivering.
Okay.
And I would focus more on this element, on the value creation element, instead of focusing on the price war.
Okay.
Okay. So today, if you're asking me whether there are specific technologies that would compromise our work or not, of course, AI will definitely create an opportunity and not a threat.
Yeah.
You can see it as a threat, but practically speaking, it's an opportunity. Why? Because today, if anyone is, let's say, he's sick, and he has a specific problem. Let's say he has some heart issues problem. Is it normal for him to visit a generalist practitioner or a health practitioner? A heart health practitioner. It's more reasonable to visit a heart health practitioner,
Yeah.
right? So it's more specialized.
Yeah.
Because you think that it's helpful. It's faster towards the solution.
Yeah.
Today, the AI that's available for everyone is the generalist practitioner.
Okay.
What companies like CME and others should be able to develop is the specialized AI.
Okay.
And this is how I see it. So there will be a specialized AI for fintech, wealth management, or digital wallet, spending management, etc.
Yeah.
Another AI for the life insurance, health insurance, medical, etc.
Okay.
Others for retail, for different industries, for telecom. You'll have a specialized AI. And this is where I see the big opportunity, is
Okay.
to develop domain expert or domain-focused AI solutions.
Which is harder for small companies and startups to compete in, or not really?
What do you mean by small?
I mean, like companies that are not yet the size of CME. I mean, you have more than 500 engineers and you serve hundreds of companies around the world. So you need a certain level of expertise and connections to be able to benefit from this specific AI solutions,
Excellent.
right?
So you said that you need some level of expertise.
Yeah,
That means startups are not a single person.
correct.
They are a group of persons,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all about, there is nothing called small startup. It's all about the people,
Okay.
the talents.
Okay.
So if you are going to disrupt the world just by yourself, yes, you cannot do this. To be
Okay.
very realistic,
Yeah.
even Steve Jobs and all the success stories around Steve Jobs, but Steve Jobs was not alone, right? So
Yeah.
there is a huge ecosystem behind him. I'm not talking about the financial capabilities of Apple. I'm talking about the talents in Apple. And it's the same story with any startup. If you're starting a new business with the right talents, with the right expertise, if you're going to develop an AI in the health industry, you definitely need some doctors with you. They don't need to
Of
know
course.
AI. If you know
Yeah.
AI, you will complement and you will develop a solution.
Yeah.
So yes, there is. I don't see it as a bottleneck as long as you have the right pool of talents. So
Okay.
that's why I think there is nothing called small. They might start with a small or an MVP,
Okay.
a minimum viable product or an idea, let's say, that they will develop further in the future. But at the end of the day, it has to start with the people, with the talents.
Okay. You ever explored VR, AR in any of your use cases?
Yeah, we did. We did
Yeah.
a couple of times as showcases for inventory management and food safety compliance using AR, augmented reality. But we don't have commercial solutions in place.
Okay. I've noticed that you have 8 patents. What are these patents about?
The 8 patents are patents that we contributed to. So we developed
Okay.
these patents for our customers.
Okay.
So out of the 8 patents, we have actually 2 patents. But
Okay,
the
that you
remaining
own.
ones, yes,
These are software patents.
software and hardware.
And hardware.
That's
okay.
right. Yes,
Software patents are really hard to get right because
that's right.
you don't have something concrete that you can show and
Usually, it's a combination between the software and hardware. This is how we package it.
okay,
Yeah.
complete solution.
That's right.
Okay, so these patents are patents that you created but owned, 6 of them owned by your clients.
That's right.
And you recently also partnered with CoorB, which I believe is a fintech company.
CoorB is a CME company. It's a CME spin-off.
Okay, so it wasn't a partnership. You created CoorB or
With new partners. So we have.
with new partners.
That's right.
Okay, what is this partnership about?
So few years ago, we noticed that there is a huge trend in the fintech industry.
Okay,
And we know that we have the technical capabilities.
what is this trend?
The technical side, you mean?
Okay, so there's a trend towards fintech development.
Yes. So we're
Okay.
talking about. I'm not talking about digital wallets. Digital wallet is one aspect that's being developed, etc.
Okay.
But the trend now worldwide is towards what's called the contextual, behavioral, embedded banking. And it applies the same for the insurance industry, for example.
Okay.
So
what is it?
It's contextual, behavioral, and embedded banking.
What does it mean?
Okay, contextual, it means it's related to the context where you're living, you're working, you're interacting.
Okay.
And behavioral, it depends on your behavior as a consumer.
Okay.
If you are a high spender or you're more on the saving side.
Yeah.
And embedded, it means that banking is not always as a service by itself, but it's embedded through another ecosystem, through the retail system, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you buy something, you pay.
Yes.
That's banking as well. It's spending money. Or if you're investing, it's also another part of banking.
Everywhere, basically.
Right. That's what's called the embedded banking. So the contextual behavioral embedded banking, this is the ultimate goal of CoorB. And this is what we want to develop. We want to develop banking more of part of the lifestyle and not just the typical traditional banking of a wallet or as a core system or these things.
How could it be part of a lifestyle? So what are the additional features that are meeting the needs or that you're here to solve, basically?
Okay. Let's take an example for you, right?
Okay.
So if in multiple occasions, if you really like a specific car, but you always have a question in your mind, can I buy it now or not? Do I
Okay.
have the funds?
Okay.
Even if I have the funds, do I take the risk?
Okay.
What happens if I spend all my money on this car that I love?
Okay.
I have no answer. But imagine if there is an AI bot in your application and that's helping you managing your spending. At the same time, it's capable of telling you, you know what, Youssef, you know that you can afford buying this car and the risk is lower than last year. Go ahead and buy it today. I will manage the loan. I will manage everything for you. And you're able to cover it for the next 5 years.
Okay. But it should know a lot about me, right?
Of course.
Okay.
That's why it's contextual behavioral.
Okay. But that's very helpful because I'm always in this dilemma. Do I buy this? Do
It's
I
always
invest
between,
here?
the question is always about your happiness and your savings.
Yeah. There's a lot of factors, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of factors. Did you already develop the solution, or is it in the development
This is a
process?
vision. So
Okay.
what I'm telling you now is more of a vision, and the vision that we have for the financial industry.
Okay.
And it's the same for the investment or the wealth management. There is always a part where you have questions that can be answered by artificial intelligence.
Okay.
But you
So
cannot
it's
do
based
it.
on AI, basically.
Of course.
Okay.
This is not possible unless you develop smart solutions using AI or machine learning and these things.
Okay. And okay, so basically it's a vision, but what are you currently doing at CoorB? So did you still planning this
No.
solution or
No,
start development?
we're developing it,
Okay.
and we already have one major partner.
Can you disclose the date of the launch or already launched?
I don't have a date yet.
Okay.
No, it's not yet launched.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. So I'm really looking forward to actually test it or put my
Sure.
hands on this application.
We'll let you know.
Okay, for sure. I heard also that you partnered with Cyren Analytics. Can you also tell me about this partnership?
Cyren Analytics is actually a sister company of CME.
Okay.
It was founded by a different group, but at the same time, CME is part of this group. And it was initially established by my partner, Carol Sharabati, who's actually the main founder of CME, the main shareholder in CME.
Okay.
And that's how she brought us into Cyren Analytics.
Okay.
So Cyren Analytics is more into the government digitization, e-government solutions, and similar solutions.
Okay, and how many partners, if I may ask, is there in CME?
4.
4 partners.
That's right.
And the 4 of you actually started, all of you started with the development. So there wasn't anyone that's basically responsible of bringing projects. You were all developers.
Yeah, Carol, my partner,
Yes.
Carol, she's coming from a different background. She's a political science PhD.
Ah, okay.
But she writes code. She does QA testing. So she's also part of the development team.
Yeah.
Until this day.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you have, we were talking about IoT, and you told me you're not just a software company, but you also develop hardware. And your hardware is somehow related to IoT. Can you tell me about this device? What does it do and what is its aim?
Well, we have a portfolio of devices. It's not just one device. So again, it's more tailor-made to our customers. So initially we started with a set of energy management devices. So we developed smart switches, smart outlets, smart power strips towards one goal, which is saving energy.
Okay.
And it's now deployed in the US, in the United States.
Okay.
The design itself, it was designed in Lebanon through our own engineers. The manufacturing and the prototyping happened in China. We have also an office in China.
Okay.
And the end customer, the end consumer is in the United States.
Okay.
So CME designs everything from the mechanical aspect all the way to the PCB electronics design, schematic design, PCB, and the firmware development, which I think is the most interesting part. I'm not undervaluing the other stuff, but I mean, this part with the AI on edge in the future and these things, this is this is where CME will invest more and more on it.
Okay.
So
So the base aim of this device is basically to turn on or control something remotely.
this is one set of the devices to turn on, turn off remotely, and by the way, to make the decision by themselves. So they are based on the consumption.
Okay.
And there are other devices that we developed, like a smart thermometer, smart infrared thermometer that is used in food safety environments.
Okay.
We also developed smart water bottles for healthcare insurance and to track the water intake for every person.
Okay.
It's a really wide range of products. Yeah.
And all of these is there a single point of management of these products? So you have a single application that can control or connect to all of these products, or
no?
Okay, so each product has a certain connectivity
that's right
method.
That's right. Depending on the ecosystem. For example, the smart switches, smart outlets, and these things, they communicate through MQTT and these things. But it's not the case for the smart water bottle, for example.
Okay. And your aim is basically to serve consumers or businesses?
Today we're serving businesses.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have the expertise yet to serve consumers, not yet.
Okay. And speaking of, you told me that you have an office in China, and you were talking a while ago that you have also an office in Cairo. Can you tell me how many offices and the location of CME's offices currently around the world?
So we have the US office, and we have there around 20 employees. We have the Argentinian office. Okay. And by the way, there is a story behind every office. So in Argentina...
There's a client behind every office, or...
There is a story behind every office. The office in Argentina, we established it in 2008.
Okay.
And the main purpose was actually to cover the time zone, the East time zone for the United States.
Okay.
And then we developed also India. We have a small office in India, and we have the Chinese office. We established it in 2006.
Chinese is all about hardware development.
We started as a software. We were not successful, and then it was dedicated for hardware manufacturing.
Okay.
You have the Lebanese, of course, the Lebanese office, where we have around 400 engineers.
Yeah.
It's the biggest office. We have the UAE office.
Okay.
Egypt, where we have around 100 engineers there. They are, as I mentioned to you, they are employed by the UAE office.
Yeah.
We also recently established the French office in Paris and Stockholm as well in Sweden.
Okay, and you once said that you prefer to have all or most of your employees in Lebanon. Why? Is it because it's cheaper than other countries?
We are not cheaper than other countries, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And we will never be cheaper than other countries.
So why do you prefer to have most of your employees here?
Okay, so there are, in our business, you'll have to pick your battle.
Okay.
We go back to your question and how to win in this industry, in this tough industry.
Yes.
Because it's a fast-paced industry and there are a lot of competition, etc. In the technology industry specifically, and there are different models. You have the Silicon Valley model, the startup model, the product, the innovation, the invention model. Yeah. And this is it requires a lot of investment-wise.
Yeah.
Lebanon is not well positioned for this topic specifically. You have the mass outsourcing, and here we're talking about companies that are present in Asia, in India, Pakistan, the Philippines, and others. Yeah. Even in Eastern Europe, where they have the economy of scale.
Why are they most present there? Because the labor cost is cheap?
And the availability of resources.
Yeah.
It's not just about the cost. Yeah. So the economy of scale helps them to scale and to deliver or to provide large number of resources. Okay. And you have what I call the premium outsourcing.
Okay.
So this is where CME is present. It is present in the premium outsourcing let's say segment.
And the premium outsourcing is about giving very high quality resources, right?
Yes. So in the technology industry, you can go for what I call the commodities of the technology industry, or you go for the heavy domains like financial services, like insurance, healthcare, telecom, where the domain expertise is as equivalent, if not more, to coding expertise.
Yeah.
And this is where it comes the Lebanese talents. Okay, what do we get from Lebanese talents? Number one is the multidisciplinary aspect in Lebanese talents. So it's something that we all complained at some point. It's the academic background that we have.
Okay.
We all complained about the fact that they teach us all these things
Useless
that we
stuff.
use. Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, it ended up to be a good part. Why? Because you can expect from a computer engineer to know electricity and how it works in every single detail.
Yeah.
Right? Even mechanical aspect, even on the physics and these things. So you're talking about hiring one profile that's covering different functions. And when it comes to domain expertise, it's important. So for example, I know you're an engineer.
Yeah.
If you want to visualize the frequency, the electrical frequency versus the voltage, I saw some example where engineers, they were visualizing frequencies in line chart, knowing that the frequency does not really fluctuate.
Okay.
And the voltage in a gauge.
Okay.
Logically speaking, it should be the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because we know how electricity works.
Okay.
While the one who developed this dashboard that I'm talking about now, he doesn't really know how the electricity works.
Okay.
So this is a difference when I'm talking about the multidisciplinary. I don't need to explain to the engineer how electricity works. He understands it and he knows. He will not even think about putting it in a line chart.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this is one part. The second part is the problem solving skills.
Okay.
And this is unfortunately due to the ecosystem that we're living in. Right? We solved every single problem around
100%.
us.
100%.
We had
I always say that.
zero reliance on anyone else.
Yeah, 100%.
Whether it's the water problem or the electricity problem 100%. Or everything.
Whether it's a problem related to tech or not.
Yeah.
You're faced with a huge amount of problems where you get to a level that any problem that hits you, you're happy to take it.
Exactly. Yep. And there is also a third element, which is the risk assessment.
Okay.
And again, here we are probably we manage risk differently than others. As
which risk?
All kind of risk, even technology risk, migration from a legacy to a modern system.
Okay. And why do we manage it better?
Again, it's related to the problem-solving skills. It's because we think differently. We always think about plan B, plan C, plan D.
Yeah.
While usually with other talents in other countries, I'm not saying that they cannot do it, they can, but it's easier with the Lebanese to know that you can rely on this team to deliver a full plan, whether the plan A, plan B, plan C, and not just the plan A. That most of the cases it will not work. And you will need to go back to plan B.
Yeah, I got your point. And I had a lot of people saying that already, but I still have something I'm curious about. You explained to me why you opened an office in Cairo because also you employ from UAE some of the Cairo employees, but you have an office in Argentina and in the US. But since you're a software company, why do you need offices in so many locations and resources in so many locations? Can't you just service your clients from one country since everything is remote?
Yeah, it's a good point. But compliance-wise, there are different constraints around this.
Yeah.
So if you're dealing with under a specific jurisdiction, like let's say United States, having or giving the customers a compliance with the US regulations, US rules help a lot. Okay, this is one. The same thing applies to UAE, to France, whether it's GDPR related or others. So compliance-wise, it's important to have a local presence. And I think here there was a big mistake that happened during the COVID, where companies started to hire remotely anywhere, regardless of anything related to security or governance in general.
Okay.
This was a major problem in my opinion. What
happened?
Because the way they started to hire remotely with no consideration to the taxation legislation in the target market or with the security compliance, it compromises a lot the business. While if you have a legal entity
Okay.
At least a governing law that governs the relationship between the employee and the entity, then everything is clean, everything is
And easier
compliant.
for the company.
Yes, easier compliance-wise and practically speaking, at least from a security perspective.
Yeah.
So in most of the cases, the decision for CME to get into a new market, it's number one, compliance, and number two, of course, the opportunity in this market, whether it's an employment market or as a business market.
Okay. Speaking of resources, basically most of your resources are engineers and computer scientists, right? And I know that these type of employees are the hardest to keep because brilliant engineers, or not necessarily brilliant, but good engineers are always in demand in a lot of companies. So it's very hard to keep them. What is CME's strategy to retain their brilliant and or good engineers that makes CME as good as it is today?
Yep. It's a good point because one of the major problems in our industry is retention and the high turnover. And this is what we actually promote when we approach a new customer. Okay. We take pride of the long-term employees that we have in CME. We have people who've been with us for 20 years now.
Yeah.
The same ones all the way from being fresh engineers to being one of the leaders of the company today. So we're talking about a large group of CME engineers. Now, what it takes to retain the talents. I think the main advantage in CME is our culture. Okay. This is what we have. This is what I think is attracting the talents to stay with CME. There will be always someone who's going to pay you more.
Yeah,
that's
correct.
Yes, it will be always the case. There will be always somewhere a job that excites you more, technically speaking, or startup approach and these things. But the culture, when you think that there is a company that's going to be next to you, whatever happens, and you know that there are colleagues who you can rely on, there are no politics in CME. Yeah. Everyone will get his chance, her chance to achieve what they want. I think this is the number one offering of CME to any talent.
So you believe that the employee's most valuable thing in a company or in a job isn't the salary?
No.
Okay.
No. Again, there will be always someone who is going to pay more, for sure.
Okay. But you believe also that most of your employees wouldn't take these offers?
At least based on my data, yes.
Okay. That's very good.
Yeah. So today our turnover is less than 10%.
Okay.
Compared to, the industry benchmark is above 20%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you go to Asia, it's more than 30%.
Of course.
And we have an employee tenure more than 5 years.
Okay.
Which is also, I think, high.
A good number.
Yes. Yeah. Especially that we're continuously hiring. And, this ends up in reducing the average employee turnover, tenure,
Okay.
So I think our numbers are good, and it's showing a good sign of retention. And it's another proof that our culture is the main attraction, because at least, in Lebanon, we might be one of the most paying companies.
Yeah,
yes. Yeah. But the world is huge.
It's vast.
And there is a lot of companies who are hiring remotely and these things. And I'm sure that our team is getting tempting offer every single day.
Yeah. Speaking of offers, I think there's a huge amount of the people that will be watching this episode that will be waiting for this question. What are the current positions open at CME, and what are the current needs at CME?
Well, the main focus today at CME is everything related to artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So we have around 38 positions related to artificial intelligence.
Wow, I wasn't expecting this answer, by the way. I was expecting something like back-end, front-end web development.
Yeah, I started to notice the trend now differently. Yeah. It used to be the case, yes.
Yeah.
But now we also changed our strategy internally by focusing more on machine learning, AI,
Artificial
data
intelligence.
engineering as well.
Okay, so you have a huge in AI development, AI
Yes.
engineers.
Yes,
Any other fields?
this is the main field today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
There will be always opportunities around back end, front
Okay.
end, mobile, and these things.
Okay.
Of course.
And
But
where could someone find these job opportunities?
they are
on
all
your
available
website?
on our website. Yeah.
And what is the basic process an engineer has to go through?
Okay. So if we're talking about fresh engineers,
Okay.
first they apply online, then they get a link to a HackerRank test that they perform online, and then they will go through an interview to make sure that and to validate the results by one of our senior engineers.
Okay, so to make sure that they're not cheating.
Right.
Okay.
And
Okay.
after that, they have a final interview with the team where they will probably be working.
Okay.
This is a process
Technical
for
interview.
the final one is not technical. It's
Okay.
more of a managerial, culture-wise.
HR.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you have the second track, which is for the seniors. They don't go through the HackerRank, so they go directly through our senior technical interview.
Okay.
And if they pass, they also have another management interview with the team lead or with the project manager. And if they pass it, that's it. We send them an offer.
Okay. Very nice. And what are the technical and soft skills you look for in an engineer?
Technical skills for software engineering, we focus a lot on their knowledge and design patterns
Okay.
and the way they think about solving problems. So we don't really focus on a specific language. And
yeah.
I'm talking here for the fresh engineers.
Yeah.
Because we know that they are not well prepared yet
Okay.
for a specific technology or a specific coding.
Yeah.
That's why we focus a lot on their analytical skills.
Okay.
Okay. On the soft skills, we focus on communication skills, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's the main drive. We give a higher weight for their attitude.
Okay.
During the interview, we also watch a lot their ambitions, that they like what they do, or it's just a job for them.
Okay.
Because you know our industry, it's demanding.
Yeah, 100%.
But at the same time, I mean, there is always a compromise on your lifestyle versus your work in this industry. And for the seniors, we focus on specific languages, specific domains.
Okay.
But we also ask a lot of questions related to the domain expertise. So if we're hiring someone from the banking industry, we really want to know if he's capable of understanding the whole core banking systems, let's say.
Okay.
Or if it's coming from the insurance industry or others. So we focus on their domain expertise and their architecture capabilities, of course. As in terms of soft skills, for the seniors, it's more related to communication, presentation skills, and as well the attitude and these things.
Yeah. I met a CTO of one of the Lebanese company that once told me that the soft skills for engineers are as important as the technical skills, but I didn't believe it at the time. After my internship at BMW, I was sure of this, that this is a fact, that soft skills for software engineers are very, very, very important to go up in ranking in their career. So there's a lot of brilliant people that has like zero soft skills that grow really slowly. Do you agree?
I agree, but I would say it's about the attitude.
Okay.
So even if you don't really have high communication skills today, if you have the right attitude, you will develop good communication skills.
Okay.
So it's all about your ambitions, your motivation, your dedication.
Okay.
This is what I look for.
And while hiring an engineer, there's always something I ask myself. So what would be, for example, CME's vision for this engineer after 15 years? What is the maximum position he can attain?
You know,
how far can he go?
I got asked these questions multiple times in CME. and I hate to answer it. The
Why?
reason why I hate to answer it, it's because you're asking me to box everyone, to put someone in a box.
What does
Okay.
that mean?
Okay. If I want to draw a career ladder for you for the next 15 years, it means that I am putting you in a box.
Uh-huh.
This is how I see it.
Okay.
So for me, someone, an engineer or any expert, he owns his future. It's not about the company where he works or where she works. So whether you're working today as a software engineer, you might decide to focus on the technical aspect and you become a technical guru. You don't even care whether you become a project manager or a CEO. This is
Yeah.
not the purpose,
Yeah.
right? You enjoy coding, you enjoy this type of work. Then tell me how you would compensate this person. Is he less valuable than a managerial position? Definitely no.
No.
Exactly. So that's why I don't look at the career as a single vertical opportunity. It's more of a multidimensional opportunity for every single person. And it depends on every person, on your wish, on your ambitions, again, on whether you want to become more into the managerial dimension, or more into the technical dimension, or more into the industry expertise dimension.
Okay.
So this is how I see it.
Okay. But don't you think it would just clarify a bit or help this engineer plan his future, or you think it's better to go with the flow, or
No, you know, we have a career development plan.
okay.
And we have L5, L4, L3,
Yeah,
L2, L1, okay, all these things. We have it, and we have the titles, we have everything. It's already set up in CME.
Okay.
But I'm being very honest. If I want to work in a company, I would not think about the L1, L2, L3, L4, L5.
Yeah.
I want to think about my future as an engineer, whether I want to become more into the managerial aspect or more into the technical aspect or the business aspect.
Yeah.
It's a completely different approach. That's why I'm saying that for me, a career ladder is more of a box.
Okay. I want to end this episode by just asking you about CME's future plans or future collaborations. Can you give me just something about your future actions at CME?
Sure. So today in CME, we're actually reshaping our vision
Okay.
for the future. And we think that CME is capable of playing a role in creating a safer future.
How?
How? If you look at every industry where we're working at today, you will find an element where CME is capable of building or creating a safer environment. Whether on the financial industry, where we just described an example of creating somehow a safer future, because we're helping you or someone else to achieve his dreams without compromising his financial stability. This
Okay.
is one. If you go to the insurance industry, we're also disrupting the insurance industry by developing a new model that's not based on statistics. You know, insurance works based on the actuarial science that
Yep.
comes from
Yep.
the statistical model.
100%.
We're moving into the behavioral model. So if we share the same age group, why are we getting the same premium? Why do we pay the same price? If you are healthier than me or you live a healthier lifestyle than me,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
because the insurer does not
Okay.
know your lifestyle.
Yeah,
And he's not aware of your
100%.
risk.
But is there any technology that the insurer can trust?
Of course,
There is.
yes.
Okay.
And this is what we are, when you ask me about the future of CME, this is where CME is going.
Okay.
Again, CME is
To
going
build
to
trust.
leverage all the technology strengths that we have today and the one that we will build in the future through the artificial intelligence, whether in the financial services industry, insurance or banking, in the food industry, in the energy, in the higher education, in multiple sectors to create this safer future.
Okay. Okay. Amazing technologies. Very interesting. I advise anyone that's watching to visit CME's website and just look up what they're working on, and if interested, maybe get the chance to work with this amazing team. I have a lot of friends that already work at CME, and I know they're really captivated by their work. Wissam, thank you very much for being here. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed our conversation. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.